Human history is shaped by the stories we tell, tales of origin, grand migrations, and ancestors who founded civilizations from mere beginnings. The Chinese people, one of the oldest and most populous groups on Earth, possess an extraordinary narrative woven from myth and legend, traced by the hands of ancient historians and given new threads by the discoveries of modern genetics. Understanding the origins of the Chinese people is to journey through time, from the misty landscapes of prehistory to the revelations found in strands of DNA, all the while pausing at the crossroads where belief, tradition, and science converge. Long before written records, the earliest peoples who occupied the vast, varied landscape that would one day become China left only subtle traces. Stone tools buried in the loess, bones of ancient mammals, footprints in the silted banks of prehistoric rivers. Archaeological evidence pinpoints early human habitation in East Asia to nearly 2 million years ago. At sites such as Yuanmu in Yunnan or Zhoukoudian near Beijing, the remains of Homo erectus, familiarly known as Peking Man, have been unearthed, bearing silent witness to a history that predates civilization by hundreds of thousands of years. But these ancient peoples, though elemental to our story, are only shadows. The dawn of the Neolithic marks a crucial turning point when farming villages blossomed along the tributaries of mighty rivers. The Yellow River Basin, cradle of the so-called Yellow Emperor, nurtured settled communities that domesticated millet, built walled towns, and crafted pottery of enduring beauty. Meanwhile, along the Yangtze, rice cultivation transformed the landscape, setting the stage for complex societies to rise. As material culture advanced, so too did the tapestry of legend. The Chinese people's beginnings are often cast in the sunlight of mythology, their earliest ancestors depicted as semi-divine beings, sages, and heroes. Central to these tales is the figure of Fuxi, the first sovereign, sometimes portrayed with a serpent's tail entwined with his consort Nüwa. He is said to have taught humanity the mysteries of the I Ching and granted the earliest forms of civilization: fishing, hunting, the calendar, and writing. Nüwa, his partner, is revered as the mother of all humanity in many traditions. She is the one who molded people from yellow clay and repaired the fractured vault of the sky. Yet, towering above all in China's mythic pantheon, stands the Yellow Emperor Huangdi, revered not only as a god, but also as a historical ancestor. His reign is set around 2697 BCE. Legends grant Huangdi invention after invention: the compass, the cart, the early Chinese script, even music. His victory over the rebellious Yandi and the formidable warlord Qiu is retold as the story of order triumphing over chaos, of a united tribe forging the identity of a people. That the Han Chinese often refer to themselves as descendants of the Yellow Emperor endures as testimony to the power of these foundational myths. Intertwined with the legends of kings and culture heroes are more subtle, regionally diverse traditions. The Miao and Yao recount centuries-old tales of migration and conflict, and the mythologies of southern China often differ intriguingly from those in the north. In the far west, the Uyghur and Kazakh peoples sustain narratives tied to the legendary Silk Road, all illustrating how the concept of Chineseness has always been more plural and adaptable than a single lineage might suggest. It is in the tension between these myths and the findings of history where new questions arise. Archaeological discoveries continually reshape our understanding of how early Chinese civilizations formed. The painted pottery of Banpo, the jade artifacts of the Liangzhu culture, and the buried bronze works of Songxingdui all suggest a network of sophisticated, often competing cultures spanning thousands of miles. By the time writing appears with the oracle bones of the Shang dynasty, around 1200 BCE, a spectrum of people has already converged and mingled across the heart of East Asia. But what does modern science, especially genetics, add to this story? In the last few decades, advances in the study of human DNA have illuminated the origins of the Chinese people in surprising detail. Geneticists compare the genomes of present-day Han Chinese, various ethnic minorities, and ancient remains, seeking patterns of kinship, admixture, and migration. Results show that the current population of China descends from several ancient lineages. Analyses point to deep roots among East Asian populations, with notable genetic continuity in the region over tens of thousands of years. Yet, there are also signals of mixing, waves of north-south and east-west migration, echoing the patterns seen in archaeology. The Han, who today make up over 90% of China's population, are a tapestry of these varied origins, a blend of ancient northerners from the Yellow River and southern farmers from the Yangtze, with threads from polities further afield, tied through conquest, migration, and trade. Genetics provides new perspectives on epic events hinted at by oral and written tradition. For example, studies indicate that after the last ice age, as climate warmed and rivers swelled, populations from the north and south expanded, intermixed, and gave rise to early Chinese states. Movement along the Silk Road and other corridors fostered further blending. Genes from Central Asian and even West Eurasian peoples appear sporadically in Chinese genomes, a reflection of long-standing interactions at the edges of empire. Another striking revelation from genetics is just how diverse the peoples of China have always been. The country recognizes 56 official ethnic groups, each with their own languages and histories, from the Mongols of the northern steppe to the Dai of the tropical south. Some, like the Tibetans and the Zhuang, are as numerous as entire nations elsewhere. DNA studies confirm that these groups, while distinct, have blended over millennia with their neighbors, and together with the Han, underscore the complexity behind any search for a pure origin. Cutting-edge research even explores the ancient DNA of individuals found in burial sites dating back thousands of years. Remains from the Tarim Basin, a key node in the Silk Road network, reveal extraordinary stories. Some mummies bear European features and genetic markers, while others resemble populations from further east. These findings suggest a rich pattern of interaction, trade, and even intermarriage across what might otherwise seem like insurmountable distances. Despite these scientific advances, the allure of myth and legend persists. In the classroom, the tale of Huangdi remains a point of pride. Family genealogies, some stretching back thousands of years, continue to bind present-day Chinese to their illustrious ancestors. Even as genetics challenges simplistic narratives of a single origin, the stories themselves remain a living inheritance, shaping identity and memory across generations. Crucially, the search for origins is not merely a question of ancestry. It touches on philosophies of governance, values, and cosmology. The idea of Tianxia, all under heaven, emerged from these formative centuries, imagining a harmonious world united under virtue and order, a vision whose roots lie as much in shared myth as in shared blood. Successive dynasties, the Shang, Zhou, Qin, Han, and onward, built on this foundational idea, each invoking ancient ancestors and legitimizing their rule with reference to epic-making heroes and sages. Yet, in our own era, with DNA readouts and ancient artifacts in hand, the narrative continues to evolve. National identity, always a tapestry, grows ever more intricate as new findings come to light. In China's modern story, the blend of myth, legend, and science becomes a source of strength, a testament to resilience, adaptation, and innovation across millennia. Ultimately, to ask about the origins of the Chinese people is to ask about more than just DNA or pottery shards. It is to engage a story that is at once deeply personal and profoundly collective, rooted in the soils of the Yellow and Yangtze rivers, nurtured by the dreams of emperors and storytellers, and expanded anew with every discovery in the fields of genetics and archaeology. The story's setting covers mountains and plains, deserts and deltas. Its cast features demigods and commoners, inventors and conquerors, humble farmers and visionaries. The legacy of Fuxi, Nüwa, and Huangdi endures not only as cultural memory, but as a symbol of connectedness between past and present, between myth and science, among all those who today call themselves Chinese, and among the many millions more whose histories intertwine with this ancient land. In the end, the origins of the Chinese people are not a single point or moment, but a great ongoing river fed by countless streams flowing forward even now, rich with the stories, mysteries, and hopes of every generation.